Some people are planning to shine lasers into the sky this weekend in an attempt to ground federal helicopters.
Yeah, so if you live in Portland or around Portland and you need a helicopter to come and save you and bring you to the hospital, well, guess what? It will take an extra 45 minutes to 60 minutes to save your life. And that's due to the real threat of a laser attack on the pilots who are flying in the air.
You know, as far as the protests go, if they'd just be peaceful about it, but there is nothing peaceful about it. Several people in my apartment complex have been assaulted by them.
Look, I know everyone is focusing on the protesters, but where is the city council of Portland? It's almost as if we just don't hear about them anymore, but they are the ones who create the policies for the city. So we have a lot to cover that happened within the last 24 hours. Now, before we start the video, make sure to please like the video. It's the #1 way you guys are helping this channel, and it also helps others see the videos as well. And when you guys like these videos, promote the videos, we can actually get the word out for people who live across the street or in this area. They want and need help, and it's only through you guys we can do that. So let's get the word out.
Protests outside the ICE facility have been going on for months. On Friday, K2 News got word of a possible new tactic, a call to shine lasers into the sky to ground federal helicopters that are flying over South Portland.
Okay, so just a few days ago, there was a call to action. It was called laser tag, and what they're saying here is it's to fight back and basically to shine lasers on helicopters flying around Portland. However, the intended target seemed to be the federal government that was spying on the citizens of Portland. That's what it said in the flyer. But the people who were affected the most were the medical providers who fly around the city of Portland to save the lives of Portlanders. Now, that footage was taken less than 24 hours ago. We will get to the protesters clashing with federal agents, but I do want to point out, I don't see any statements from the Portland government, the city council, talking about these lasers and the helicopters. I want to get some news. I want to find out what can I do in case I have to save my life. Do I take a helicopter? Do I not if I need it? Nothing from them at all. So make sure to please subscribe to my channel, because not only do I focus on the protesters and the residents who get affected by everything going on in Portland, I think we need to start focusing on the city council, and I want to make sure we're doing that on my channel as well. So make sure to please subscribe.
It's another thing when the city doesn't have your back.
Oh, I've called 911 and they've told me, well, they can't respond. The police will call you back on the phone, but they won't come down here. They refuse.
Why is that?
Because the governor and the mayor have both told them that they are not to assist ICE in any way, and anything in a 4-block radius around the ICE building is a no-response zone.
Okay, so this is Cindy. She is somebody who lives across from the ICE building. We have actually had her on my channel before as far as one of her interviews, but this was filmed by T-SPLY on X, and he also has a YouTube channel. He's been down at the ICE building and just talking to everyone to figure out what exactly is going on. Make sure to go follow him, go subscribe. He has really good content, but for the people who say, you know, everything is completely peaceful, there's nothing really going on, here is a real human soul that we have been trying to help out and get the word out. No, this is a reality every single night for people like Cindy.
I'm surprised I've seen more of them in the last few days since Christy Noem's been here, since this all started.
Yeah, it was kind of quiet the past couple days, but now it's back to chaotic.
Yes,
right?
now it's back to chaotic. And somebody's going to get hurt. Somebody's going to get shot. Somebody's going to get killed. And then, of course, our Democratic mayor, who doesn't care about anybody in this building. This building here is a lot of low-income people, a lot of elderly like myself.
And this right here is why I made it my mission on my channel to let everyone know this is what's happening in Portland right now. There is an isolated building where people like Cindy, they don't have a lot of money, they are disabled, they dial 911, they've been asking for help, yet the whole world is saying it's not that bad, there's nothing going on, and she's even pointing the blame to her local government, which is why, again, I want to reiterate, I do think we need to stop focusing so much on the protesters. Everyone knows about them, but what about the people who could fix this overnight? The local government. Again, this was filmed less than 24 hours ago by Katie Davis Court on X. She's the one who was in the White House not too long ago, but yeah, here's what she captured. She's back on the ground. And again, by the way, all of that residue, it seeps into the building across the street. Okay, so there's a big debate right now throughout the United States. You're probably seeing it. The people who are wearing these costumes. Now, on one end, you're probably saying, look how much of a joke this is. I mean, these guys are just playing around in these costumes. On the other end, from pretty much every single journalist on the ground down here from the independent scene, it's getting called out as a defense against the pepper balls. In fact, you'll see when this person gets hit with pepper balls, they don't seem to be affected. Now, interesting enough, it looks like the person who's wearing this costume gets a laser pointed at them and then they have to make a run for it. But the point I'm trying to make is Homeland Security doesn't see these costumes as like a playful thing. And watch right here, you see some sparkling going on. It looks like whoever was wearing that costume kicked it, and then of course when we see things like that down here in Portland, that typically is what leads to getting hit with pepper balls or possibly getting arrested, and you'll see a laser get shined on them. And you can hear people in the background saying, there's a laser shining on you, go, 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 run. But again, the argument from a lot of the right-leaning crowd is, you know, it looks like it's supposed to be a playful thing, but the reason why they're wearing those costumes is they can get hit with those pepper balls and run away if they need to. Again, from the opposite side, from the protesters' perspective, and a lot of left-leaning media, they're just saying, this is just a playful thing. We're just trying to get attention to the story here. So it looks like a vehicle is trying to get through this protest. And again, this is where people question Portland police, Portland City Council. We keep seeing clips like this, and the Portland police did say they're going to be in the area. This particular neighborhood only has like 3 ways to get into it. This happens to be one of them from a main road. Otherwise, you have to divert all the way around. And nobody is saying you can't protest, but I think the problem people have is, hey, city council, these are voters who pay your bills, who pay your salary. Can we at least use a road to get home?
Oh yeah, raise the target. Raise the target, you nasty motherfucker.
They're going after him. They're going after him. He's got the laser on him. He's running. He's running. Look at him go.
So yeah, there you go. Again, less than 24 hours ago, it was pretty chaotic. Now, the Portland police, they were in the area because there was a conservative who ended up getting hit in the face with a rock, and the police did show up to get this report. However, someone who didn't get help when she dialed 911 is somebody like Honey Badger Mom. She is a journalist, a friend of the channel. This is her X account. If you guys want to go support her, go help her out, make sure you guys do that because you're going to want to see what's going on right now.
So I'm being sued by a black bloc rioter for pepper spraying them. It was somebody that was waving a flagpole and making contact with us down at ICE. And when I say us, I mean Katie and I. We have video of the incident. And I warned them and then I pepper sprayed them. And 2 weeks ago, I was served with a lawsuit for $10,000 for battery. And they're using a unusual and terribly written statute here in the state of Oregon. I believe it's tied to suing for $10,000 or under. It's not small claims. And if they win even a single dollar, then I am required to pay all of their attorney's fees.
And if you guys are subscribed to my channel, you know about Honey Badger Mom. She also woke up to a popped tire, and apparently what popped her tire in her own driveway, according to her, was one of these. So if you guys want to go support Honey Badger Mom, just go to her profile over on X. She has ways you guys can help out her journalism and her continuation with the story. In fact, just last night, she was live down at the ICE building despite all of this happening. So it would be a massive help to go and help her out. You guys know that the success of my channel also really has to do with Honey Badger Mom as far as this story. She is a great independent journalist, so make sure to go help her out. She has different ways you guys can go support her, pray for her, and help her out as well. Thank you. Okay, so this clip was filmed by Right Side Rebel. Now, you're gonna see what it feels like to be on the front line, and when all this tear gas comes in, eventually you do have to back away, and we'll see all that.
Driveway to allow for vehicular traffic. Remain on the sidewalk or across the street. Everyone must leave the restricted area and may be subject to detention or arrest for failing to depart.
Oh, sorry.
So here's the thing, when we see videos like this and we hear what's going on in the background, one thing I always want to point out is, imagine the people who live in this area. When you have the city councilors who could send in more police, or the mayor, the Portland police are supposed to be in the area, a lot of this could be condensed down. The point I'm trying to make is this gas seeps into the area where everyday residents are trying to live their lives. And so this becomes problematic. I couldn't imagine what the long-term effects are going to be for the people who live in this area, and every single night this tear gas just seeps in.
An x-ray tech for 22 years, and I got injured on the job, became disabled, and I'm low income. We have vets here, low income, and families with children. And these guys, the protesters, are out there dancing in the nude and yelling and screaming at all hours of the night. At 3:30 in the morning, I got woke up with their screaming. And then they claimed that the reason the school left was because of the ICE building. Listen, if you've had that many days of people shoving things in your face and calling you a racist and telling you to die and bringing down guillotines and telling you to jump off the building and kill yourself because of what you do, you'd get tired of it too.
I think it's hard for people to really know that this has been going on for so long, because the national media is now just catching up. Like, we're 3 weeks into this being a national story. But for the last 4 months, for the subscribers here, you know, we've been covering this since day one. But me covering it is not like me being in it and having to sleep here. What's rather interesting is a lot of these residents, by the way, they're not even like MAGA or the biggest Trump supporters, but what they are humans. They are people who want help. And these are people who are not getting the help up until today. And their story is finally starting to get out. People like Cindy, she represents a lot of these people, lower income, disabled, just want help. But what I'm trying to do here is go to the people who can provide the help. We know about the protesters. Why is nobody talking about the mayor and the city councilors? Imagine one of them has to sit face to face with Cindy and Cindy asks them, why am I not getting help? Why when I dial 911 I have not been getting help? For whatever reason, we're all not focusing on this.
And it's not fair to the ICE officers. Every one of them has been respectful, and they don't go after somebody unless they broke the law. We have laws for a reason in this country, and that's just the bottom line.
In fact, on the special that Katie Davis Court did inside of that federal building, the Federal Protective Services, the guy in charge of the area, straight up said, the reason why our job is so hard is because we want them to protest, we want them to have the ability to protest, but what ends up happening is like people will just sit in the driveway and we have no choice but to move them out of the way, and then it becomes violent. So that's what Cindy is talking about. She witnesses this every night, and we have a lot of clips to prove this. The people you see who get arrested or with the pepper balls, you really have had to cross that line. What many people don't realize, at one point in time, everything was actually rather peaceful. We didn't see these clashes. And then out of nowhere, the clashes started to increase. Now, I do want to make a video as to when and why that was happening, but let's continue because this is valuable information. These are the people who live it every single day.
How do you think this is going to end? What do we need to happen?
Unless they're willing to sit down and talk to each other, it's not going to end. It's going to be going for the next 3 years. I've already put in for a wait list at several different apartments.
You're having to move.
I'm not going to stay here with this for 3 years, no.
And the reason why this really sucks is because although, look, I'm not a fan of Portland, just going to be honest, this part of Portland, though, is actually very beautiful. And Cindy has been on camera before and said she does not want to move, but she has been threatened. They don't like her. She has no choice. So when you have politicians and media who are saying everything is peaceful, everything is fine, I mean, why do we have people who live in this building who are saying the opposite? I want to get to the truth. I want to know why Cindy is saying it's not as peaceful as people think. Again, shout out to Ocean Plot. Make sure you guys go support him, go follow him. Something else I do want to point out is a lot of these residents behind the scenes, I have known about this from the very beginning. They have been watching the videos, but they haven't been able to get the word out. They were very afraid for their own lives, and they know if they show their face, it's not safe. Up until recently, we are starting to see the faces or the voices of the voiceless come out and say, we want help, we haven't been getting help. So thank you, Ocean Plot. Honey Badger Mom's another big journalist covering this. Thank you to you guys for bringing this to the light. Okay, so as I make this video, it is still being reported that helicopters are under threat. Nobody knows the source of who created that threat or why this is happening. So yeah, I will keep you guys up to date with that or anything else that's popping off in Portland, because again, this story is getting interesting. Portland police are saying we're here to help, but then sometimes they're not fully there. Federal agents are still clashing with protesters. Protesters are not too happy with the Portland police, but I'm still asking the question, why has the city council all of a sudden really become way more quiet than they've been within the last several months? Especially as somebody who's been covering this story, I love to see what the council has to say, but I'm not really hearing too much, so we're going to be digging into that as well. Thank you guys so much for everything. Please pray for peace because we need that right now. That's all I ever advocate for on my channel. Thank you guys for everything. God bless, and we'll see you all later.